They told you your time is past, that you missed your chance, that starting over at your age is unrealistic. But here's the truth. Age doesn't define your destiny. Your mindset does. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to begin again. Every sunrise is proof that God hasn't finished writing your story yet. The dream inside you still breathes for a reason. It's not over. It's only waiting for your courage to wake it up. Starting over isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of faith. Faith that even after the storms, there's still something worth rebuilding. Faith that your best chapters can still be written no matter how many pages you've turned. You're never too old to reinvent yourself, to chase what sets your soul on fire, or to create a life that reflects who you've become, not who you were. Life doesn't care about the years you've lived. It responds to the belief you live with right now. So today, let's break the myth of too late. Let's replace regret with renewal and fear with faith, because this is your reminder, no matter your age, no matter your past, you're not too old to begin again. We live in a world that glorifies youth, where success stories are celebrated when they happen early, and society whispers that if you haven't made it by a certain age, you've missed your window. But the truth is, age is not a wall that blocks you, it's a ladder that lifts you. Every year you've lived, every experience you've had, every failure you've faced has been preparing you for what's next. Your age is not a limitation. It's your launch pad. When you've lived through enough seasons, you understand the rhythm of life differently. You've learned that failure isn't fatal. And that rejection doesn't mean you're not worthy. It simply means redirection. You've gained wisdom that the younger version of you didn't yet have. You've been through storms and made it out stronger. You've learned how to let go of what doesn't serve you and hold on to what truly matters. That wisdom is your advantage. While others rush blindly towards success, you move with clarity and depth. That is not weakness. That is power refined by time. Think of a seed. It doesn't bloom the day it's planted. It takes time underground, hidden in darkness, developing roots deep enough to sustain its growth. Your life is the same. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour was never wasted. It was root work. The years that others might see as lost are actually the foundation of what's about to rise. History is filled with people who started later in life and changed the world. Colonel Sanders founded KFC in his 60s after being rejected over 1,000 times. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Ray Kroc built McDonald's at 52. These people weren't late. They were ready. The world wants to rush success, but God's timing is not man's timing. When it's your season, nothing can stop what's meant for you. Not your age, not your past, not even your fears. When you reach a certain age, you stop chasing validation and start chasing purpose. You stop asking, what will people think? And start asking, what do I want to create before I leave this world? That shift is powerful because it frees you from the illusion of competition. You realize your race is your own. You're not running against anyone. You're walking in alignment with your calling. The truth is, many people achieve early success but lose themselves because they never built a foundation of character and understanding. But when you've lived long enough to fall and rise again, you develop something priceless, perspective. You know that success isn't about speed, it's about sustainability. You're not here to prove something anymore. You're here to become something. Your experiences have equipped you in ways no classroom could. The heartbreaks taught you empathy. The failures taught you resilience. The detours taught you patience. The disappointments taught you faith. You've gathered tools that can only be earned through living. And those tools are exactly what will help you build what's next. If you think you're too old to start again, remember that age is just evidence of endurance. It means you've survived things others couldn't. It means you've been tested and you're still here. That strength alone makes you unstoppable. Every wrinkle is a chapter. Every scar is a medal. Every lesson is a gift. You haven't run out of time. You've been gathering divine preparation. And here's the beautiful thing. When you start something later in life, you bring a calm confidence that youth can't replicate. You're not trying to prove your worth. You're walking in it. You're not chasing recognition. You're creating meaning. You've already lived through enough to know what truly fulfills you. And that gives your new beginning a depth that can move mountains. So don't let society tell you that your time has passed. Time doesn't pass. You pass through it. Every day you wake up is proof that God still has work for you to do. Your breath is permission to begin again. The dream inside you wouldn't still be alive if it wasn't possible. The passion you feel isn't a coincidence. It's a calling. Think of your age as an engine, not an anchor. The years behind you aren't holding you down. They're pushing you forward. You've got the wisdom of experience, the power of perspective, and the courage of survival. That combination makes you unstoppable. You've already faced some of life's hardest battles and lived to tell the story. If you could overcome that, what makes you think you can't start something new now? Remember this, no age disqualifies you from greatness. No number defines your purpose. As long as you have breath in your lungs and a fire in your heart, you are still in the game. You can still learn, still build, still inspire, still achieve. Every day is a blank page, and you get to decide what story you'll write next. You're not too old, you're seasoned, you're not behind, you're being refined. Every year has sharpened you, shaped you, and strengthened you for what's ahead. The world may value youth, but destiny values depth, and depth only comes through time. So instead of counting the years, start making the years count. Use your experiences as fuel. Turn your wisdom into impact. Stop waiting for permission to start. You are the permission. You've already earned your right to rise again. Because the truth is simple. Age doesn't limit you. It launches you. You're standing on the runway of everything you've lived, and now it's time to take off. Your next chapter isn't waiting. It's calling. And when you finally decide to answer, you'll realize that the best part of your story didn't happen back then. It's happening now. There's a quiet lie that creeps into the minds of those who've lived a little longer. It whispers that their moment has passed, that their purpose is somehow timed out. But purpose is not like milk. It doesn't expire. It's eternal. It's the reason you were born. And as long as you have breath in your body, your purpose is still alive, waiting to be expressed in a new way. Purpose doesn't have an age limit. It's not reserved for the young, the rich, or the lucky. It's the divine calling within you that refuses to die, no matter how many seasons of life you've walked through. You might have buried it under disappointment, routine, or fear, but it's still there, vibrant and ready to rise again. Your purpose is the same light that has guided you through the darkest nights, even when you didn't notice it was still shining. The truth is, every phase of life brings a new expression of purpose. When you were younger, your purpose might have been about building, creating, or achieving. Now it might be about teaching, guiding, or inspiring. Purpose evolves with you. It grows deeper as you do. What once was about success becomes about significance. What once was about getting more becomes about giving more. Sometimes we think our purpose ends because the chapter changes. Maybe you retired. Maybe your children are grown. Maybe a dream didn't turn out the way you hoped. But a new chapter doesn't mean your story is over. It just means the narrative is shifted. The canvas is still blank. The paintbrush is still in your hand. Look at the lives of those who found their purpose later in life. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first Little House book in her 60s. Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa at 75. Grandma Moses began painting seriously at 78. These people are proof that the soul doesn't care about time. It only cares about expression. Purpose has no expiration date because truth and calling don't age. They expand. You may have thought your dreams were behind you, but maybe they were just waiting for you to become the person capable of fulfilling them. Maybe your earlier struggles were never setbacks, but shaping tools, molding you, strengthening you, deepening your compassion so you could carry out your real mission now. The detours you faced didn't destroy your destiny. They defined it. Purpose isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, like being a voice of comfort to someone in pain, using your wisdom to guide a lost soul, or creating something that uplifts others. You don't need a spotlight to live with purpose. You only need intention. Every word you speak, every act of kindness, every lesson you share can become an expression of that divine calling. And here's the beauty of discovering purpose later in life. You bring a richness to it that can't be fake. You bring stories, emotions, and lessons that give depth to your message. You don't just teach from theory, you teach from experience. The world needs that. There are people right now waiting for your story, your voice, your wisdom. They need the version of you that time has refined. So don't let regret or comparison cloud your vision. Don't look at what you didn't do. Look at what you can still do. The energy that created worlds lives inside you. That means creation never stops. You can still write the book, start the business, paint the picture, or build the dream. Purpose is never about when, it's about why. You see, time doesn't take purpose away, it reveals it. When the noise of life quiets down, when the distractions fade, your soul finally gets the space to speak. It starts whispering what truly matters, what you were really made to do. That's why so many people find their true purpose later in life. It's not because it suddenly appeared, but because they finally had the wisdom to hear it. Purpose doesn't expire with time because it's not dependent on your age. It's dependent on your alignment. As soon as you say yes, as soon as you open your heart to something greater, purpose will breathe life into you again. It will give you energy, direction, and meaning far beyond what the world calls success. So if you're standing at a crossroad feeling like it's too late, remember this: it's never too late for something that was meant for you. Purpose will always wait for your readiness. It's patient. It's eternal. And once you reconnect with it, you'll realize that the years behind you weren't wasted. They were preparation. Every heartbreak, every failure, every lesson was shaping you into the vessel strong enough to carry your calling. Now, you're not behind, you're becoming. You're not forgotten, you're being refined. And when you walk in your purpose at this stage of life, you walk with grace, courage, and authenticity. You no longer chase what's fleeting. You live for what's eternal, because purpose doesn't fade with age. It burns brighter with time. The longer you've lived, the more fuel you have for the fire. And that fire, once reignited, can light up not only your life, but the lives of everyone who crosses your path. Starting over is one of the hardest things a human being can do. It's not juice about rebuilding your life. It's about rebuilding your belief in yourself. It takes courage to look at what fell apart and say, I'm not done yet. It takes faith to begin again when nothing around you guarantees success. But that's what true strength looks like. Not the ability to never fall, but the will to rise every single time you do. When you start over, you're declaring that your spirit is stronger than your circumstances. You're choosing hope over heartbreak, growth over guilt, and courage over comfort. Most people stay stuck because they fear the unknown. But you, by deciding to begin again, have already defeated fear's greatest weapon, the illusion that it's too late. Starting over means releasing what no longer fits your life. It means forgiving yourself for what didn't work, blessing the past for what it taught you, and walking forward with a heart that still believes in possibilities. It's not weakness, it's divine strength. Because it takes more bravery to rebuild after loss than it ever took to build in the first place. Every fresh beginning carries sacred energy. It's a reset, a spiritual renewal, an act of faith that says, I believe there's more for me. When you start again, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. You're wiser now. You know what doesn't work, what truly matters, and who you really are. The storms that broke you have also shaped you into someone unshakable. Think about nature. After a forest fire, new life always grows back stronger. The old makes room for the new. The same principle applies to your life. Sometimes what burned down wasn't meant to last. It was clearing space for your next season. Starting over doesn't mean failure. It means rebirth. It means you've been chosen to evolve into a higher version of yourself. And here's the truth. No one who starts over truly begins empty-handed. You carry lessons, resilience, wisdom, and faith. You carry the memory of every time you thought you couldn't go on, but did. You carry evidence of your survival, and that's more valuable than anything you lost. You might not see the whole path yet, but you don't need to. You just need to take the first step, because starting over is not about knowing exactly where you're going. It's about trusting that you'll find your way as you move. It's about walking forward with a heart open enough to receive what's next. Every great story has a moment of restart. It's the turning point, the chapter where the hero decides to rise again. And that's you now. You are that hero. You're proof that new beginnings aren't limited to youth. They belong to the brave, the people who dare to rebuild, to dream again, and to believe that what's ahead of them is far greater than what's behind. So if you find yourself at the edge of a new beginning, Don't let fear hold you back. You've already survived your worst days. Now it's time to thrive in your best ones. Every sunrise is a divine invitation to start again. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to say yes to the journey, because starting over is not the end of your story. It's the proof that your purpose is stronger than your pain. It's your declaration that you refuse to let your past define your potential. Every day you choose to begin again, you rewrite your destiny. You remind the world and yourself that the power to rise, rebuild, and renew has always been within you. And when you start over with faith, grace, and courage, life doesn't just give you a second chance. It gives you a brand new beginning.